trusted voice of industry and trade.
PHDCCI's commitment to global collaboration.
Ladies and gentlemen, we wish you a warm welcome to this 8th edition of PharmaMed. We would all take this opportunity to welcome the Honorable Secretary, Shri Anish Chawla ji. He's just about to enter the Audi. Just a brief background about PharmaMed. PharmaMed is an annual event which actually, this is a flagship event. The 7 editions have already been, they have already taken place, and we are taking this legacy ahead, and this is reflecting India's commitment to the excellence, innovation, and global collaboration in pharmaceuticals and healthcare. And this PharmaMed, as the name suggests, it actually covers the pharmaceutical industry, the medical devices, the hospitals and diagnostics. And this is one of its kind initiative which has been taken up by PHDCCI every year to bring all the stakeholders from the industry, the government together on the same platform to discuss and deliberate on the issues and subjects for growth and the roadmap which the industry along with the government decides together. We also wish to welcome, we have our director from Department of Pharmaceuticals, Shri Abhishek Singh ji. Abhishek Singh ji, thank you so much. We have our co-chairs, Mr. Atantra Das Gupta, Dr. Sameer Gupta from Metro Group of Hospitals. And we have a very special guest, Ms. Christina Ritter. She is the head of anti-corruption and governance from UN Global Impact. Thank you, Christina ji. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. We are just waiting for the Secretary, sir, to come, and then we'll start the proceedings. Secretary, sir, he is here. I'll request everyone to give him a big round of applause for Shri Anish Chawla ji. Welcome, sir. Welcome to PhD Chamber. I would request Shri Anish Chawla ji to kindly come on the dais. The Honorable Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Government of India, Shri Anish Chawla. Ms. Christina Ritter, she is the head of anti-corruption and governance, UN Global Impact. Mr. Atantra Das Gupta, the co-chair of the Medical Devices Committee of PHDCCI. Dr. Sameer Gupta, the co-chair of the Hospitals and Diagnostics and Wellness Committee. Mr. Atul Sharma, the director from Involution Technologies. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind presence. To begin this auspicious occasion, I would request all the dignitaries on the dais and all the people and the esteemed delegates present here to rise for the national anthem.
Janagana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchchal Jaladhi Taranga Tava Shubha Name Jage Tava Shubha Ashish Mange Gahe Tava Jaya Gatha Janagana Mangala Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He.
Thank you. I would request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly do the lamp lighting to begin this auspicious occasion. Shri Anish Chawla ji. I would request Shri Vivek Sehgal also to kindly come on the dais. Dr. Rajiv Chibbar also. Shri Abhishek Singh ji, the director of DOP. Abhishek Singh ji, kindly. Dr. Ravi Rathore. Thank you, all the dignitaries. Thank you once again. So just a brief background. Sir, PHDCCI has been doing this PharmaMed event to bring the stakeholders from the pharma, medical devices, hospitals, and diagnostics industry together to discuss and deliberate. Discuss and deliberate on the key industry issues, subject, and the road growth, sir. And thank you so much, sir, for your kind presence. And we are indeed grateful to you that you had given us the time and you very keenly listen to our problems in the industry. You are a very proactive, sir. Thank you so much. Without wasting much time, I think I would invite Dr. Sameer Gupta. He is the co-chair of our Hospitals Diagnostics and Wellness Committee of PHDCCI to kindly present his welcome address, sir, to formally welcome all the dignitaries and guests.
Thank you so much, Nasirji. I would like to welcome the esteemed speakers and all of you over here. Members on the dais, Shri Arunish Chawla ji, Secretary, Department of Pharmaceutical, Ministry of Chemicals, Fertilizers and Government of India. Shri Antara Das ji, Co-Chair, Medical Devices Committee, PHDCCI. Shri Atul Sharma ji, Founder, Director of Involution Healthcare Private Limited. Christina Ritter, Head of Anti-Corruption and Governance, UN Global Compact, New York. And Nasirji. It is with great pleasure and enthusiasm that I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you at the 8th PharmaMed HD event, where we gather to undertake the overarching theme of Make in India, Made for the World. In today's rapidly evolving landscape of pharmaceuticals, the essence of Make in India, Made for the World resonates profoundly. This ethos embodies India's commitment to excellence, innovation, and global collaboration in the pharmaceutical manufacturing and healthcare delivery. Our first session of the day is Quality in Pharma, Sustaining Excellence Amidst the Industry Evolution. This represents the theme. As the industry undergoes dynamic changes, it becomes imperative to sustain and elevate quality standards. Through insightful discussions, we aim to explore strategies to uphold quality assurance, ensure regulatory compliance, and foster innovative practices aligning with the global standards expected of the products of Made in India. Moving forward, we have the privilege of exploring India's visionary approach to global medical device excellence in our session titled Beyond Borders, India's Vision for Global Medical Device Excellence. Here we unveil India's pioneering efforts in medical device advancement propelled by the ethos of Make in India, Made for the World. Through innovation, collaboration, and unparalleled quality, Indian medical technology is poised to make a significant impact on the global stage, transforming the healthcare delivery worldwide. Lastly, our event concludes with the forward-looking session of Transforming Healthcare Delivery, the Evolution of Technology in Patient Care. In this session, we delve into a transformative potential of technology in revolutionizing patient-centric care models, optimizing outcomes, and enhancing accessibility to innovative solutions. By harnessing technology, India aims to redefine healthcare delivery, ensuring that it is both inclusive and globally competitive. As we embark on this enlightening journey together, let us celebrate India's strides in pharmaceutical and healthcare excellence. Now, as a doctor, I'm an interventional cardiologist. I'm a doctor. I'm in the healthcare delivery space. I sit on the board of a few hospital chains. What has really come out is that India is the pharmacy of the world. And as we evolve, PharmaMed, whether it's pharmaceuticals, medical devices, this is going to be the future. This is going to be India's IP. We are going to export it to the world. And through forums like this, through platforms like this, through leaders who are sitting on this dais, we can actually make a change. Right now, we are known as the IT people, right? Whenever anybody gets a call, whenever anybody thinks of India abroad, I used to live in the US for many years, it was that India is an IT person. But very soon, with innovation, with technology, with the education, with the manpower that we have in this country, we are poised to be the healthcare delivery people of the world, poised to be the healthcare of the world. We are already the pharmacy of the world. And I think this is excellent what we are doing. Make in India, made for the world is a fantastic initiative by the government. All the relevant players are here. And through the discussions and the deliberations that we have today, new ideas, new thoughts will come that will propel us further. So it's going to be an exciting day. New things are going to be talked about. There's going to be a lot of discussion. And I would, all of you should stick around and learn something and take something back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Samir Gupta. Thank you for setting the tone for discussion. And you are right that India is the pharmacy of the world, and we intend to actually make it a manufacturing hub of the medical devices and all the other sectors of the health care industry. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to invite Sri Atanta Das Gupta, who is also the co-chair of the Medical Devices Committee of PHDCCI, and he is the head of Samsung's Medical Devices India. Mr. Atanta Das Gupta.
Good morning, and I welcome the honorable dignitaries on the stage, and I thank PHDCCI for giving me this opportunity to keep my viewpoints. So let me start with some hard facts. Because I belong to medical device, I look after the Samsung business for entire Southeast Asia, and we are not only to the importers, but also we are the manufacturers. So let me start with the facts that where do we stand for the medical device. If we look at the revenue, which has been projected for 2024, is $7 million US. We all know there is a figures from Invest India. India is already an 11 billion industry of medical device, and it is poised to grow 50 billion in 2030. However, we have to understand that what we need to do to become a 50 billion, because this is going to contribute to our 30 trillion economy, which our Honorable Prime Minister has already envisaged. So in order to become a medical device company or the medical device manufacturer in the world, like the pharmacy, as Dr. Samir Gupta has just mentioned, we have to do something very important, very different. That is, today the medical device is being categorized by application, and also they are being categorized on the RICS basis, ABC by CDSCO. But we have to think that how we can make it bigger and bigger, because today medical device has been bucketed from a consumable to a very high-end nuclear imaging. So we have to think, and also the government has trying to build up the infrastructure. They are building the medical parks, but is that enough? What different we have to do? We have to think from which category we have to grow. When we are talking of a very high-end medical device, that is CT scan, MRI, nuclear imaging, we have to build an ecosystem for that. Because today, a medical device is not only electronics, but it has got a lot of software embedded in it. And India, being an IT capital of the world, we have to take advantage of those. Because today, if you look at the high-end or the sophisticated medical devices, those are all connected devices. There is no standalone device. And when we talk about connected device, there has been an influx of softwares, of AI, which is going to script a new paradigm in the medical device industry. So today, when the consumables are there, we have to think of a park or a medtech park where only consumables will get manufactured. But when we are thinking of building up a park with a high-end or sophisticated medical equipment, we have to think of the ancillaries which can help to build up these big or this sophisticated medical equipment. Today, we have to build up a movement like what has happened in the case of Japan. Because today when we talk about Mitsubishi, Honda, Toshiba, all the big giants, they all have been developed from a small scale or from a mid-sized company. Believe me, they started as a cottage industry. So I think we, as a PhD Chamber of Commerce, can play a very important role because we are the proponent and the motivator of the MSME. And this movement should start from an MSME industry because it has to be accepted, internalized, and it has to be a bottoms-up approach. We can look at a lot of sophisticated companies which are there. We can talk about Foxconn. We can talk about all other semiconductors companies which are coming to India. But unless and until our indigenous, small-scale, mid-sized companies evolve and explore, we will not be able to build up that ecosystem in India. Because today, if you look at pharmacy, you will see it has been started as a movement. The small companies has grown big, grown to be a multinational companies, giants. Same thing we have to do in the case of medical industry also. Because today we are the largest population. We are the country with the largest population. Our aging population is also going to increase. We as a country consist of a very diversified people, diversified language. We have got a very diverse data set. That is most important. We don't have to travel to other country to collect the data, which other big companies, the multinationals usually do. We can build up our repository in India itself. So I will request, because all the policymakers are there, industrialists are there, we should form a joint forum to build up an indigenous repository for growing this medical industry. We don't have to look outside. The world will look towards us, and we can give back to the world in a big way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Atantaji. Thank you so much. We have to build a revolution, and all the stakeholders are here. Under the able leadership of our Secretary, sir, we can do that, and we are looking forward to do that. Now, I would request Shri Atul Sharma. He is the founder director, Involution Healthcare Private Limited, and also the co-chair for our Medical Devices Committee.
Good morning, dignitaries on dais. Shri Aranya Shavlaji, Secretary, Department of Pharmaceutical, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, Government of India. Dr. Samir Gupta, Dr. Shri Atantra Das Gupta ji, Shri Pranav Podar, and Shri Nasir Jamal ji. And good morning to all of my dear friends and colleagues. Let me thank PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the opportunity in gathering all the stakeholders on a single platform to deliberate on making India and global hub of manufacturing and healthcare destination. The Indian medical device industries was granted the status of independent industry in year 2014, and in the given title, Sunrise Sector under the Make in India scheme in 2014. And thereon, the commitment from government for the growth and industry is commendable. As Atendra Das Gupta ji recently told me that this market is going to be more than $15 billion US, and how we are seeing this exponential growth. Not in terms of internal, but also for the exports. And we are sure that government initiatives to promote these exports, coupled with the industry focus on quality and innovation, will propel this growth further. I would like to appreciate the Government of India for taking long-awaited national medical device policies coupled with groundbreaking schemes like production-linked incentive schemes, like promotion for research and innovation in the pharma and medtech sector schemes. Being the fastest growing medical device market amongst the emerging market leaders, we are still more than 80% import dependent in this sector. And how we have to come out of this import, and we have to make in India with the innovation and research. And innovation and research, when I say, is the affordable diagnostic tools as well as the therapeutic. When I say diagnostic tools, it means all type of MRI, CT scans, cath labs, we should manufacture in India. And when I say the pharmaceuticals, we have a solutions tailored in country for the healthcare needs, what we need. And the opportunity is for us to make a global footprints. And the second adoption is technology, which Mr. Atendra Das also said, the artificial intelligence. Of course, now as the data is a fuel, maybe in India, the artificial intelligence is again a fuel for India in upcoming sector, in diagnostics also, in therapeutics also. We can say proudly now we are manufacturing in India indigenously so many such things like CT, MRI, cath lab. In fact, I am one of the co-founder and director of Involution Healthcare, where we manufacture cardiac cath lab. I mean, I'm sure Dr. Samir will agree with me. At times, there was only 3 companies in India, Philips, Siemens, and GE. And the total, installation of cath lab base in India was less than 1,000. So when I say a balloon to door time is a patient when he gets a heart attacks and when he gets a first, treatment, it was a huge. Sometimes not even districts, not even states. One patient has to travel from one state to another to get it operated. But now with the indigenous companies like us, I am proud to say that we started this company in 2015, and unfortunately because of 2 years of COVID, we were delayed. In India, there are total more than 2,500 cath labs. In last 3 years, in India alone, we have installed 360 cath labs. All these 360 cath labs are, in India, and now we have started international exports as well. We have sold 8 cath labs out of India. It includes the countries like Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines. We are, now eyeing on Eastern European countries also. In conclusion, the medical device industry in India is on trajectory growth, driven by the innovation, favorable government policies, and commitment towards the quality also. And I just want to say that as we navigate this evolving landscape for the collaboration between the industry, stakeholder, academia, policymakers, it will be vital to realize the sector full potential. Together, we can and we will make an impactful solution to enhance the healthcare accessibility and affordability for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Atul Sharma. I would now like to invite Ms. Christina Ritter. She is the head of Anti-Corruption and Governance, UN Global Compact. And she would like to, present a perspective, how does she look as India's growth in the healthcare sector as an external observer, and her thoughts on the industry, healthcare industry.
Good morning. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's such an honor to be here with you in this event. As you may know, the UN Global Compact is the largest corporate sustainability initiative in the world, and our ambition is to support companies integrate in their strategies, in their operations, universal principles related to human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption. And this can only be achieved through good corporate governance. At the UN Global Compact, we have taken this one step further, and we have created an approach called transformational governance. Transformational governance is like a fusion between good corporate governance, sustainable governance, and global governance. What do I mean by this? It's a call to business to not only be ethical, transparent, and accountable, but also to drive responsible business practices by being sustainable, by being inclusive, and to also support public institutions, laws, and systems where they operate. So transformational governance, in other words, is expanding the notion of good corporate governance with its typical internal measures to also address the impact that a company has in the environment and societies where it operates, and to contribute to peace, justice, and strong institutions. So the journey towards transformational governance for companies happened at 3 levels: internal, external, and collective. Internally, companies can adopt measures starting with ethical leadership, fostering a culture of integrity, adopting policies and programs based on a risk management approach with oversight, controls, and record keepings to make sure that those programs are effectively implemented, communication, training. If there are compliance officers here, they will understand very much what I'm talking about. All of these measures and monitoring evaluation systems, that are put in place with reporting channels, whistleblower protections to make sure that our company is transparent, accountable, and ethical. Externally, the journey expands toward our business partners and supply chain. So it's applying this due diligence, capacity building, technology across our supply chain. And finally, the journey becomes collective when like-minded business people come together to raise corporate standards in a given industry or join forces with other sectors, such as civil society and the government, to have an impact that will reach the public policies and legal frameworks level. So at the UN Global Compact, we support companies in that journey, internally, externally, but especially, I think, our value proposition is really the collective part. Because of our mandate, we can provide that platform for the business, public sector, UN to come together and achieve those common goals. To give you an example of how we do that at the global level, I can tell you about last year's initiative, a call to action that we fostered from business to government. So this call to action we developed at our Leaders Summit, our annual flagship event in New York. And we told in one page 5 key points where the business sector wants governments to focus. We presented this call to action that ultimately was signed by over 500 companies from 91 countries in less than 2 months at the Conference of the State Parties to the UN Convention Against Corruption. This conference is the main governance and anti-corruption event in the world. It's the place, it happens every 2 years, where the global integrity agenda is written, decisions are made, and priorities are defined. So for us, it was really important to amplify the voice of the private sector there and tell government what is important for us. That's what we did. We also hosted the first private sector forum inside an anti-corruption cause in history, and something very special happened. Governments gave us a response. They adopted a resolution recognizing both the call to action and the private sector forum and committing 190 countries and governments to adopt incentives for business integrity. So imagine that achievement. We were really happy, and now the challenge is to translate that into practice at the national level. And how do we do that? We do it through collective action initiatives. We have a project right now with 10 of our local networks, local chapters working on these initiatives. India is one of them. Dr. Samnat Singh is here representing that initiative that he's leading. And those initiatives, they start by identifying actors that will take part. And like I said before, it could be only private sector focused, or it could be joining forces with governments, academia, civil society, other sectors. Second, we identify the risks of our particular industry that we want to focus on. In the case of the health sector, because India is focusing on the health sector, and that's why I'm here today, you can take a look at the supply chain. You can do this focusing on functions or on supply and value chain. So what are the risks at the research and development level, production, registration with label, pricing, marketing, procurement, distribution, risks that affect transparency, integrity, often anti-corruption risks such as bribery, fraud, collusion, conflicts of interest, trafficking and influence. Different risks will take place at different stages of the value chain. Once we've identified that, we choose 2 or 3 that we want to address and we want to mitigate. And all together, we put our minds into it and we implement those solutions. Those solutions could be blockchain across the supply chain, could be incentives for business integrity, policies on gifts and entertainments for doctors, for example, and many more. But let me conclude this by saying that from the UN Global Compact, we are happy to support this journey, whether that's internal, external, or collective. And we invite you all to join our collective action initiative. Yesterday, we released a publication precisely on how to strengthen transparency and integrity in the health sector. There are 11 recommendations at the end. We could pick one or two and put our minds together to look for those solutions and implement them to make a sector more transparent, ethical, and accountable in line with the Agenda 2030. So thank you so much, and we're here at your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Christina. You are right. I think these your initiatives would certainly help achieve the SDGs, including the healthcare. Thank you so much. Now we all are waiting to hear to our Honorable Secretary, sir, Shri Anish Chawla ji, the Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Government of India, for his kind and keynote address. Shri Anish Chawla ji.
Dr. Nasir Jamal, Secretary General, and the leadership of PhD Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Samir Gupta, Dr. Das Gupta, Atul Sharma, Christina, Abhishek Singh, Director, Department of Pharmaceuticals, members from the industry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to see that PhD Chambers of Commerce and Industry took this initiative to organize a comprehensive event covering the pharma, the meditech, and the healthcare industry. That sort of gives a 360-degree view of this rising sector of industry and specialized services in India. The three parts are actually very closely linked to each other, and they grow, rise together. India has already made its mark in the pharmaceutical sector. It is rightfully called the pharmacy of the world. India supplies 20% of generic medicines to 150 plus countries. It supplies 60% of the global vaccines for immunization across the world. It has the largest number of US FDA certified plants outside of United States, and the largest number of WHO GMP certified plants anywhere in the world. The industry last year, or the closing year, crossed a watershed. Last year, 50% of our production in this sector, in this industry, was exported. And therefore, the Indian pharmaceutical industry, or the drug and pharmaceutical industry, now officially has become an export-oriented industry. That increases our responsibility. And we should, going forward, internalize this in our efforts. And we need to focus on 3 dimensions. Those 3 critical dimensions are, 1, we need to deepen the strategic depth of our value chains. As you know, as we became the pharmacy of the world, we still had some vulnerabilities, which we learned the harder way during the COVID pandemic. And since then, we launched PLI schemes, a number of initiatives, and I'm very happy to announce that those efforts are coming to fruition. And over the weekend on Saturday, the Honorable Minister for Health and Pharmaceuticals inaugurated 50 plants, 50 greenfield projects all over the country, manufacturing bulk drugs and medical devices. And all of these were hitherto imported in the country. That is a massive step forward. This is an effort which we need to sustain and continue further to ensure we can ensure the security of our value chains and also ensure that we can provide end-to-end solutions in this sector. The second critical innovation is upgradation of quality standards. Half of our manufacturing units have already achieved the WHO Good Manufacturing Practices standards. We have very recently upgraded the Schedule M of drug and cosmetic rules to prescribe higher and more stringent quality standards, including quality control and quality assurance mechanisms for the domestic industry, which is now completely at par with the WHO GMP standards. All plants in the next 1 year will have to upgrade to these revised and upgraded standards, and most of them will achieve the WHO GMP and revised Schedule M simultaneously. I'm very happy to announce that yesterday, the Honorable Minister approved change or reform in the guidelines of the P2R scheme. The P2R scheme, as you know, was an important scheme in the Department of Pharmaceuticals called the Pharmaceutical Technology Upgradation and Assistance Scheme. And this scheme was essentially for the medium to small drug manufacturing units, but it was earlier linked tightly to credit. So any unit could take assistance only when it had a loan application sanctioned. And typically many medium and small units found it difficult to run after banks or financial institutions. Most operators in the industry have their own sources of financing, and they like to mobilize their finances in their own optimal fashion. We recognize this need, and we have we have delinked it from the compulsion of a loan sanction. It is now purely voluntary. Any drug manufacturer who is genuinely wanting to upgrade its quality standards to the new standards will now simply be able to submit an application online along with a gap analysis, a simple gap analysis where you are and what you need to do to achieve the revised quality standards. And all activities which are necessary for this upgrade, including upgrading the HVAC systems, upgrading the water steam systems, upgrading your labs, stability chambers, testing equipment, clean room technology, and so on and so forth. Everything that is necessary, including certification expenses, would be eligible items under the new scheme, and it will have a very simple graded structure where each unit, depending on its size and turnover, can get reimbursement subsidy from 10 to 20% on upgrading its quality standards and getting the revised certifications. This was a critical demand of the industry, and we are happy to announce that demand has been heard, recognized, approved, and offered. The third critical element that we need to focus on in this sector is the research and innovation. And that is one sector which comes as the industry gets more advanced, as the industry gets its confidence and act together, starts adding greater value, and then you move up the value chain, you move up from high volume, low value to high value drugs, pharmaceuticals, and new therapies. We had launched a PLI scheme for formulations and called 2.0, and the scheme was aimed at high value drugs like complex generics, excipients, which were not earlier produced in the country, they were entirely imported, all the biotech products, therapies, and all the complex therapeutic categories, biosimilars and large molecules. So everything that is high value and at the higher end of the value chain was part of it. And you will be surprised to know that in a span of 3 to 4 years, the industry has risen to the occasion, and all targets under this scheme have been exceeded. We have come up with a new mechanism to incentivize research and innovation. It's called the PRIP scheme, which is simply the Pharmaceutical Research and Innovation Program, under which offers will be made to the industry to undertake research, ideation, proof of concept, clinical trials in futuristic technologies. And that is going to be, it's a big scheme, like a 5,000 crore scheme. And that is, it's a 10-year horizon. It's a long-term scheme because innovation and product and research cycle is long. And that will offer a new opportunity to the industry to undertake beyond the frontier research and development of pharmaceutical products and cell therapies. But that is not where it ends. As you know, NIPERs, which are the institutions of academic teaching learning in the country, and are producing high-tech MTechs and M-Pharmas who are now the base, becoming the technical base of our industry. These institutions are now tying up with big drug companies, and they have come up with a new concept which I would not call a shark tank, but a dolphin tank, because we don't kill each other, we swim and enjoy and rise together. And under this concept, the first big effort is the NIPER Ahmedabad, which has tied up with Pfizer to start a new initiative where technical startups in this sector, these could be young students passing out of NIPERs, young technocrats in your industry, they can submit futuristic development products, simple ideas, and they will be supported through the product cycle for development of these technologies. And many of these technologies are specific to the disease incidence that happens in the country. As all of you know, in any industry or sector, wherever there is a business model, the industry will automatically come in. But for something like health, drugs, pharmaceuticals, medical devices, there will not be a business model for everything. And in those areas, the government has to set up, create networks and partnership mechanisms so that those critical gaps can be bridged. And that essentially is our strategy, and that essentially is our vision. Coming very briefly to the Meditech and the medical device sector, it is true that traditionally we have been a big importer of Meditech equipment, medical device equipment. The last calculation that we did, we imported about 75% of our healthcare needs. We cannot stop this import, and we should not, because it is linked to healthcare. And we want our citizens to get the best healthcare that is available in the world. But we should also start working on this industry. Just like the way we have worked on drugs and pharmaceuticals, that is not the focus of our attention. This industry, as mentioned, was 10 to 11 billions about 3 years ago, and is going to be somewhere around 30 to 40 billion in 2030, growing, and it is growing very, very fast. This is one industry, one sector which is growing at 15% compounded annual growth rate. And this fast-growing industry is the sunrise industry. We launched a PLI scheme as well as a medical device park scheme. And this scheme has taken off. And as I mentioned, on Saturday over the weekend, several greenfield medical device projects were also inaugurated, commissioned in the country. And these greenfield projects would produce CT scans, MRIs, cath labs, C-arms, body implants, diagnostic, in vitro diagnostics, all kinds of medical devices that we think of, we know, we hear of. That process has begun. It has started to happen. And this will catch on. This will catalyze more innovation, more make in India, and also more make for the world. So we can import, for example, if we have to have cancer therapy equipment, there are certain machines like rotational cobalt machine, or let's say the linear accelerator, which could be manufactured in the country, but every country should not be manufacturing proton therapy machines. There will be only few, and they will be only manufactured at a few locations on planet Earth. But that also means that all mass consumption items, surgicals, disposables, equipment, assistive devices, all kinds of imaging devices, medical devices, they all will need to be manufactured in the country and also manufactured for the world. With that vision, friends, we together go forward. And before I end, a very interesting data point that I discovered recently. We were analyzing the last survey of industries that came out recently. As you know, it comes with a 2 years lag. It was, the last we got it was for year 21-22. And we were very happy to learn that even though our pharma and meditech industry is 3.5% in terms of value of total manufacturing output in the country, in terms of gross value added, it is 7.5% of the manufacturing industry. So you can imagine the value add in our industry is almost twice the general value add in other sectors. And because we are growing in double digit year on year, faster than other manufacturing sectors, going forward up to 2030 and beyond, this sector could become as big as 10%, and along with automotive, electronics, drugs, pharma, and meditech could be the third big manufacturing sector for India. So with these few words, friends, thank you for inviting me here, and thank you for setting up a very comprehensive program. And thanks to all captains of the industry for having done a great job, and keep it the same way going forward. Thank you very much.
Much, sir. Thank you so much for your kind address. We really appreciate the government's initiative like PLI, technology upgradation, and common facilities, and on many more such initiatives, sir. And PHDCCI ensures that we will do our best to keep the pace up and promote these schemes, sir, across the country. And we look forward to having such more interactions, sir, in your kind presence also, sir. Before we conclude this session, sir, we would request our co-chairs to kindly present a memento to Shri Arunish Chawla ji, our chief guest for the day. Shri Atantra Das Gupta, Dr. Samir Gupta, Shri Atul Sharma. I would invite Shri Vivek Sehgal ji also to please come on the dais. I would also request our co-chairs to present a memento to Christina, Ms. Christina Ritter. Front mein aa jaye. I would request Secretary Sir to kindly present. Thank you, sir, and thank you, sir. We have important sessions, sir, lined up, which is on the quality in pharma. Then we have one on medical devices and how do we intend to become the global medical devices hub. And third one is on the transforming healthcare delivery, where we talk about the hospitals and the diagnostic sector, sir. And we have lined up good panels, sir. We'll be beginning after such a small break. We'll just a 5 minutes break, and then we'll begin the next session, sir. And thank you, sir, once again for your kind presence, sir. And we look forward again having such an interaction with you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Time to